Damn. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to need is ice cream. You can cop that below. The link is in the description on my website. You're going to want to clear up the pods before you start. Second thing you're going to need is tape. It doesn't matter what brand. The third thing you're going to need is the Barge Super Stick Cement. I'll tell you where to get that later. And then the fourth thing you're going to need is some Q-tips. You really just need ones for dramatic effect. And then a dirty ass shoe with some dyed pods that you really want to fix. Alright, so the first thing we had to do, just for precaution, is to tape up around the area that we're working on. The type of tape does not matter. And I am actually going to take a piece of tape and put it right down the middle of this pod so we can see a good contrast of a before and after. Instead of looking at pictures or, you know, with inconsistent lighting and stuff, I'd rather just show you in person this side compared to this side after this process. Okay, so for this next part, you need to get the Barge Super Stick Cement. Again, I don't know if this is the only one that works or there's some ingredient in here. I know the only difference is that this one has toluene, which actually causes cancer. So when I die at age like 45 or whatever, don't be surprised if I die from cancer or something, because that's why.
Just gonna get a little bit of cancer, Stan. Tell Mom it's okay.
The new formula has no toluene, but they don't sell the Super Stick without toluene. It's just a regular barge cement. So please do not go to the store and just buy this if you're doing re-glues. I don't know if this works on this process. I might try it later and let you guys know. But I know for sure that this does work. It's a lot more expensive. You can't find it in stores, or at least I haven't been fortunate enough to find it near me. It's about $40. It comes in this pint-sized can, and it's going to last you a long time, and it's super strong. So go ahead and just get right into the process. We're basically going to just take out the little brush that is on here and apply this pretty heavily. And I know this is really weird and I probably look crazy.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
But it works, trust me. Another little tip if you're doing re-glues, I like to tape up the area that I'm not gluing or I don't want glue on, so I don't have to be super precise with that brush. I can just kind of put on a lot and not worry about it. And then I usually use a heat gun, but on this process I found that not using a heat gun actually works better. But the tip is, if you're putting down tape like I normally do, is remove the tape before it dries, whether you let it dry naturally or whether you're using a heat gun. Because what will happen is if that glue dries while you have the tape on, the glue that is on the tape is actually going to dry and make a, I guess just kind of cover that gap. I don't really have a word for it, and maybe I'm just at a loss for words. But basically the glue here and the glue on the tape is going to dry. So when you pull up the tape, it's going to start to pull this glue. And in this case it's not that bad, but if you're doing a re-glue, it's going to pull out the glue that you need to push and seal on that side. So it leaves you with this really crispy line. So I'm going to let this sit for about 7 to 10 minutes or so, like the can says, and then we'll come back to you guys.
2,000 years later.
Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is take your Q-tip and start to kind of pull at where the glue is. And after you start putting a little bit of pressure in there, you'll kind of just start to see the glue, I guess, just sort of roll up. And that's exactly what you want. And then after a little bit, you can kind of just use your finger to get that Okay, so now hopefully you guys should be able to literally see the line where the tape used to be, how much wider this is and how dyed and red and It's not even red, it's like a maroon because it's just a light dye that comes down across the pod. So at this point, this is literally a new process for me. Like this happened 2 or 3 days ago where I found out that this works. So I almost now want to go back with ice cream and hit that white spot again. So once I basically remove the dye, since the dye was kind of inhibiting ice cream from hitting the actual rubber, since there's dye between the ice cream and the actual rubber that we need to work with, I kind of want to go back and hit this and see if this will get a little bit brighter and make it more even with the toe cap, because it's pretty close but it's just a little bit off. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do this process on the rest of this pod, hit this with ice cream to get it bright white, and then seal it off and call it a day. Alright, and that's all there is to it, guys. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe so I know what kind of videos you guys like and what you're interested in. I know I don't have a lot of videos, but I plan on doing a couple more of these in the future, and I want to start using YouTube a lot more. I know I've said it before, but I really want to do it now that I've got my camera figured out and we can get things rolling. Also, if you want some more advanced tips, if you're really taking customizing or restoring seriously, or maybe you're just interested or you're just beginning, I'm going to be having an online class. The details are not out yet, but when they are, this video will be updated. But you can follow me on Instagram at Raleigh Restorations. That will be the very first place that I actually let out that information. It's going to be a paid class, but there's a lot to it. I'm going to do about 2 or 3 hours covering anywhere from the basics of prep, what tools to use, how to get straight lines, how to tape, what brushes I use, all the questions that I get all the time I'm going to answer. And then it's actually going to be streamed live on YouTube, so you're going to be able to comment in your questions and I'll address them. Depending how many people, I'm probably going to limit it because I don't want there to be a million questions, so I'm just sitting there answering questions for hours and hours. So it's probably going to be limited to anywhere from like 30 to 50 people, and I'm shooting for around like $50. I'm not sure on the price yet, but that information, if I had that 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 or so when I was just starting, would be super advantageous. There's so many people out there doing the wrong thing. So if you can learn that now, whether you're established and you're taking a lot of orders and some are coming back because they're cracking or things just aren't clean and polished and you really want to take it to the next level, I can help you do that with the class. So go ahead and follow me at Raleigh Restorations, the website www.raleighrestorations.com. You can cop the ice cream that's here in the video on that website, and you can save 10% with promo code Facebook. And again, just give a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys did like this video. If you want to see some more stuff like this, I'm going to let it out, but definitely that class is something you're going to want to hop onto. It's going to be a private class. You're going to be sent a code, and you're going to be the only one that's going to be able to access it with that code. So let me know if you guys are interested. Alright, peace.